when you talk to CEOs or other C-level executives of these big companies, what is it that you find most compelling about those conversations? Is it how they got there? Is it what their plans are for the future? Where do you tend to focus your storytelling?
Yeah, so the first thing I always do when I'm interviewing like a CEO or any executive is I always do my research ahead of time. And I don't ask them or, talk about anything that I can get myself through the research. And that's probably an obvious aspect.
But that's not necessarily going to be obvious to the person who's listening or watching the interview, right?
No, but not watching her, but a lot of us who write will try to stick to the parts of the story that aren't readily available. And so when I'm speaking to a CEO, I will ask them, if sales have been good, I will congratulate them on the great revenue or the great profits. If sales haven't been good, I probably don't say anything about that. I kind of leave that off because I want to create this nice relationship with the interview process. If I do focus on the leadership skills a lot, so I gravitate to asking, how leaders lead or what they do or why is it important. And I always focus on, what can we expect from you next or the company next. So I do a little bit of, what's happening now. If there's a particular topic that I'm interviewing them about, getting details about that topic, a strategy they just announced, a collaboration they just announced, and then what can we expect from that company in the future.
And how do you keep it interesting? So these CEOs, sometimes you're the 7th of 15 interviews they're doing in a junket. How do you keep your interview interesting and memorable?
The way that I keep it interesting and memorable is, one, I don't ask them anything I can find myself, and 2, I make it fun for them. Anybody wants to have fun, when they're being interviewed. So I try to keep it fun and I try to keep it, personable. And I think by doing that, when I reach out to these CEOs, they're more apt to say, oh, yeah, I enjoy talking to Shelley, so let's do that interview. And keep it short, too.
And what's the construct? Do you have a framework? Do you think of it as a 3-act play? Do you set something up? Conflict, resolution, how did you solve it? And how do you structure your interviews?
Thank you for asking. That's actually a 4-act play. So in a 20-minute interview, I try to keep my interviews to 20 minutes. The reason I do that is because 30 minutes gets too long. 40 minutes, you've lost the listener. So I try. The sweet spot for me is 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And I usually do it for what I like to say is 4 big topics. So we're going to cover these 4 big topics. And then here are the sub-points under those 4 big topics. So I try to stick to 4 big topics. That's kind of the secret sauce to my writing and interviewing.